Hey everyone, and I hope you are well. We have another new patch. 0.1.3 is out now, and some of the things that this patch adds are actually fairly significant, or at least interesting enough that I really do think it's worth talking about. So let's just jump straight into it. I hope you're having a really good day. I hope you're having a really great weekend. Paralives X Unpacking, they've added a new game for us to play. Unpacking, I think that's a game on Steam. That I have no knowledge about, so I'm really sorry about that. I know nothing about unpacking. But you can collect unpacking stamps or elevate rooms with unpacking plushies and objects. More items and clutter is great, love that, that's amazing. This is a really big one that they've put on the front page, and I do think it's quite important, and I think this is a talking point that we need to kind of discuss. So eat as a group. Each para will now grab and eat a portion when doing this interaction as a group. This is excellent because the amount of times that I would make a massive amount of food for somebody who's visiting, and myself, my own para, and then only my para would eat, and that's it. He would just eat on his own. And yeah, I then, obviously I spoke about this in a few other videos I've made already, found that in reality it doesn't really matter because the paras don't even get hungry when they visit you, so it doesn't matter that they don't eat with you. But nonetheless, it's something, like, it's just the most fucking obvious thing in the world that they should be hungry when they visit. There's no reason for their moods to be maxed out when they visit you. Like, you should be able to maintain, you know, the way that they are. And we're a minute into this video, or we're 2 minutes into this video, and I'm really sorry because I do think that my namesake, I have started to sour a little bit on bits and pieces here and there, and that's going to become fairly obvious in future videos as well. Maybe they'll turn it around, maybe I'll become super positive again. But there are things like my main comparison point with this game, it's always going to be The Sims 1. And if there are things in The Sims 1 that are super easy to do that aren't available in this game, I find that kind of offensive. I find that kind of upsetting. I feel like that's, again, and I spoke about this before, that to me is the checklist. If it can be done in The Sims 1, why can't it be done in Paralives? And people will argue, well, you know, 15 people and they've made over 10 million. And, you know, yeah, well, The Sims 1 was made by 60 people and didn't take 6 fucking years. So, nonetheless, it's good that they've added the option to eat in a group. It's really good, but considering the paras can't get hungry, this is literally just more set dressing, you know. So we're just going to continue to imagine that they're enjoying the food that we made them. They're not going to complain about the quality. I don't even know if you can get or make bad quality food. Maybe you can't even do that either, but nonetheless, these are the things that are upsetting me currently. These are the things that I'm moaning about, and I do apologize. That was never the intention of this channel, but it's more, yeah, we're going to have to pretend. We're going to have to pretend that our paras are talking to each other because the game tells us they are when they're sitting together. Now we're going to have to pretend that the para that we just made food for is hungry and they're enjoying it even though they're not. Let's move forward. Teen romance. Teenagers can now flirt and be in a romantic relationship with other teenagers. Good. I don't know why that was disabled. Maybe there's some intimate stuff there that obviously should remain completely disabled, which maybe they were worried about implementing something like that by accident. Maybe that's easy to bug, and then, you know, if they made the teenager interactions the same as an adult, maybe they would accidentally bug it so that you could treat a teenager as an adult, and that would be a really bad thing. You wouldn't want to do that in any way. So they made improvements to the save system to reduce the chances of save files getting corrupted. We are going to see this every single patch because that is something that people are still really dealing with, and people are still being very upset with. And I can understand that completely. I think that's a very fair point. Personally, as I've mentioned in a previous video, I'm not getting super tied into a playthrough right now because I understand that this is an early access game. It's not an EA game as people keep calling it. It's an early access game, and I think it would be silly to kind of be super involved in making a character and telling a story when the next day that could be completely wiped. They fixed an issue where we couldn't hear the voice of children and preteen parafolks, which is interesting. I haven't messed with family stuff yet, as I say. I'm trying not to get super deep into it right now, but that's good that that's been fixed. They fixed a bug that made bills very expensive due to water consumption. I just assumed I had a leak. That's what I assumed. I assumed I had a leak when I had the 2,000 paradigm bill for water. I was very surprised, but glad that's been fixed. The telescope now increases the astronomy skill, which is great. I should have been doing that from the start. Townie requests will now automatically foul if the townie passes away. Good, something that should have been happening and that now happens. That's great. Parafolks will no longer teleport when cancelling their go to work interaction. Okay, that's cool. I guess that was something that was causing paras to become stuck. The in-game font is now able to display more characters, allowing modders to create mods that translate the game in more languages. Very cool. Stuff like that is great for different people from around the world that have added different languages and localizations. That's awesome. They fixed an issue that prevented playing with more than 50 mods from the Steam Workshop, which is great. That's something that I saw people having issues with already as well. Yeah, that's great. That's something that I was posting fixes for because we, the modding community, already made plugins and fixes for it because we just felt like we had to because this patch obviously wasn't fast enough for the modding community. So now we get on to some other stuff to do with fire. So the smoke detector will now correctly make firefighters come to your house when there's a fire. Well, yeah, that's again the Sims one. Firefighters now execute their autonomy. I'm going to have a problem with this word every single patch note. I'm sorry. Autonomy. Thank you. That's how it's said. Right away, instead of waiting 10 in-game minutes between each interaction. Great. Cool. In the Town Hall building, the Hall of Fame wall now correctly shows townies with high skills that your paras can beat in order to get their photo there as the master in a given skill. This is something, again, I haven't actually toured too much around the town, but I heard about, so that's very cool. Yeah, if you max out some skills, you get put in the Hall of Fame in the Town Hall building, which is pretty sweet. It's a very interesting way to kind of tie a life sim game into more Animal Crossing style achievements, so that's pretty cool. They fixed an issue where the camera would jump around when using the height slider in the Paramaker. Cool, something quite simple that needed to be fixed, obviously has now been fixed. They fixed a path-finding issue with the hairdresser which prevented parafolks from using one of the entrances. I found this constantly. I would click to go to the hairdressers and then my para would walk to the front door and then immediately go to basically aim to go to the back door, so they would walk around the entire block and I would have to stop them. I'd load in the hairdressers, cancel their movement and then make them walk inside myself. That was the only way I could do that. So good that that's been fixed. Parafolks could not sit on the lip-shaped bench, and this has now been fixed. Great, another little fix there, even though there's no comfort meter, so to be honest, sitting down is actually completely pointless. In this game, you don't need to sit down to do anything, so that's lovely, glad that's been fixed. Train doors were always opened, and it was hiding the height slider ruler in the Paramaker. This has now been fixed. Oh, I get what that means. That was when you were using the height slider in the Paramaker, now that the doors were open, it would hide how tall your para was, so that's good. That's been sorted because now we can actually see the height. They fixed an issue with the need ignored interface flickering on and off when there's a fire, which I don't know too much about, honestly. The need ignored. I'm not too sure. I guess that's like if you're too hungry, you can't do certain things. And I guess when you panic when there's a fire. So, some ovens were not accessible for cooking if they were in a tight space. This has now been fixed. That's great. Love customization, love building. That's the high point of this game right now personally, so that's a really cool thing that they've sorted out. More interactions now increase the fun meter, so this is great. I already had to install a mod to fix this. Like, it made no sense to me that my para was too bored to practice guitar or too bored to read. I don't see them on this list. They have build sandcastle, play with plushies, draw on the floor and hopscotch, so I don't know if in the full list if those things I've just mentioned will even show up, but hopefully they are. Hopefully they're there. Yeah. Buildings will now fade out instead of disappearing suddenly when they are blocking the view. That's cool. This happens a lot on the plot that I always choose to build on, which is a very tight space, so that's cool that that's been done. In Imperial units, decimals are now displayed properly as inches, 5'11" instead of 5'9" 8", which is also very good. The last page here also talks about corrupted save files, crashes and freezes, and just to complete submitting bug reports. It's very interesting that fire is the one that seems to constantly appear in these patch listings. Yeah, I haven't dealt with fire at all in my playthroughs so far, but then compared to a lot of other people, I haven't dealt with a lot of good things, really, have I? So I haven't explored too much. Yeah, my para kind of reflects my own self, which is he kind of stays indoors and doesn't venture out too much. that's on me. I need to explore this game more, and I need to explore real life more too. So yeah, there you go. That's our patch notes for 0.1.3. I will try to continue to keep on top of making this kind of content and trying to keep you in the know. And if doing another Q&A, that'd be a really good video to make as well, to kind of have a discussion there. Things have been heated recently on the Paralives subforum. There's been a lot of repeated points that have been made, and I've grown frustrated with some of the community and the toxic positivity, and that's not really what I want to bring to this page. So I do apologize for a little bit of negativity on my half. But yeah, there you go. That's your newest patch notes for the game. Are you still playing? Are you still playing every day? I think I'm on like an 8-day streak of playing, but I've been in and out. There's a few other games that I really want to focus on, and I do want to give this game some time to kind of grow. So well, there you go. I hope in a few years' time we can look back on these earlier videos, and you can kind of laugh with me and say, man, I can't believe when a para would visit, they don't even get hungry. That's so strange. But there you go. Thank you so much to the 15 subscribers I now have on this channel. When I did the Q&A, I had 1, now on 15. I've been kind of plugging the channel here and there where I can, just to say, hey, I'm making some content if you want to come and check it out. But yeah, there you go. Thank you so much for hanging out. We'll see you in the next one. Have a beautiful day. Yeah, have fun.